Today's book reading is about Matilda, who is a girl who is very brilliant, but she is actually explaining her life story in the book. As we discussed the previous pages of the book, that Matilda is actually a girl who is very fond of exploring new stuff and experimenting new stuff as well, but she is kind of a person who does not realize that what kind of dangers she might face by experimenting with those, because she has been kind of shown like a person who is just very spontaneous with everything, and the kind of child who actually turns out to be like this kind of adult who does not think twice before they do something or before they take action on something. That kind of child is actually quite dangerous, because sometimes you just have to be careful, and I think not only sometimes, you always have to be very careful, because you have to think always what are you doing in your life. And if this character has been shown to be very spontaneous and overly hyperactively spontaneous in her life, like it is written that she was actually kind of child that was fond of book reading, and she always used to ask her teachers that what kind of books she would like to be told to read. But her teachers were always like, you can say that it was written that her teachers always took the back step because they were afraid to actually suggest her any books. Because I think now I can I think actually explain why this concept is might be confusing for us, most of the people, that why certain books should not be introduced to certain children. I think personally, if we talk about academics, then academia and fantasy land is quite different. If we talk about academics, then academics is actually like it is necessary for survival. But exploring new books which are like related to any magical land or fantasy land, they should not be introduced to the children. Like for example, we talk about today's world where children are actually very fond of watching such kind of cartoons or movies that have magical stories. Like for example, if we say that, like being a Muslim, it is not allowed, and it is strictly banned to read any magical books, because they will you will find kind of fantasy by reading those. So this is not only the fault of that child that is actually exploring that stuff. This is actually the fault of those parents as well that have placed those books in their houses, and they should not be there, because otherwise, if that kind of books are readily available, then magical books and those kind of books that teach you spells, or like for example, we live in a society that actually teaches us to search on any random topic on social media websites. For example, it can be any website or channel that actually shows you through videos that what kind of magic can be done, so that which is highly wrong, that people actually search for random stuff on online, on any platform that may be, or they read any kind of stupid stuff like that, which is actually highly forbidden in Islam, because magic is highly forbidden. And I still don't understand why Muslim parents, or even those who are reverts, or anybody who is actually studying Islam, they should highly be aware of this fact that they should only retain themselves to Quran. That's it. As a book. As a book to follow, and as the footsteps to follow, they are of the Prophet, last Prophet. Otherwise, it's highly condemnable that magic is promoted like that. It should never be promoted. It is highly condemned action, and it should not be promoted at all. And such kind of books are actually very dangerous when children read and they adopt that kind of stuff, because they will see that, okay, if these kind of books are available in your house, then it means that it is okay to read them, because they will follow their parents' footsteps, and they will see that, okay, if there is a chocolate on the table, then it means that if the mother or father is eating the chocolate and they have placed chocolate on the table, then it means that it is allowed to eat that chocolate. That's why they have placed that chocolate in the house. But if you see that if that chocolate has been expired, and that children or particular child still consumes that expired chocolate, then you will definitely know as a parent that his or her life will be in severe danger, because eating expired stuff is actually very bad so for health. So that's why there are certain things that are actually very bad on spiritual health, mental health, and physical health ultimately. So this is the, I think, crux of this book. Or that if a child, because he has been shown as a character who is fond of reading books, like exploring new things. So if you see that if a child just goes randomly and picks out stupid kind of genre books and just reads them out aloud and share it with their friends, those kind of books should be forbidden, that actually teach you bullying as well. I think this is the fact that not only those books should be forbidden that teach you magic, those kind of books should also be forbidden that actually teach you bullying or worsening of tone, worsening of character. That should be highly prioritized to find good books.